Transit is up next. That is a cooperative for artists in transition with co-directors, I believe both presenting tonight. Is that right? Libby Morris and Gabriela Santiago. And studio manager, is he going to do this here? Jeremiah, I mispronounced Teutsch. Okay, close enough. It's a cooperative space for aspiring contemporary artists with a goal to encourage them to continue growing in their passage between the undergraduate degree and next artistic direction with pride and bigger words. Okay, co-founders, the two young ladies here, both graduated from Texas State University. We met as designer and middle school teacher. And wanting to delve deeper into the fields of their choice as a pre-graduate school experiment, they developed Transit, and again, joining them as the man. He graduated, Jeremiah graduated from Rocky Mountain College of Art as studio manager. So now it is a residency program if you're interested for undergraduates looking for a venue and funding to take risks toward own artistic endeavors. Please welcome the men and women of Transit.
So I had this idea a few years ago and had always pitched it to family and friends. I'm just going to let artists live with me and help them with their projects so that I can keep working on mine, kind of thing. Residency programs have always existed, and the idea for this particular residency program was founded amongst young academic artists who wanted to keep one another on their toes. Libby and I were friends at Texas State University in San Marcos, but didn't really become close till we found each other in San Antonio. At a time when we were both looking for a new living situation in our lives, I kind of mumbled this idea under my breath, and she was really excited about it.
We wanted a side project in which we had ownership over something to take full responsibility for the success and failures of, and to focus on a vision that was entirely our own. We both also wanted a project that would encourage us to continue in the fields of our choice and exercise our skills since we felt we were getting a little rusty given our day-to-day routines.
So, of course, we needed a place to live, and I met Gary Minter, the owner of a warehouse, through the pushcart derby. He built our team pushcart out of a gutted lawnmower. We lost, but the pushcart was awesome. Libby and I pitched him the idea for Transit. He liked it enough and agreed to help us out a little bit with rent if we helped him maintain the property.
The space is so much more than we bargained for. It's the old egg-grown mattress factory. It's a beautiful red brick building with the original stamped aluminum still intact. It is located on South St. Mary's next to the Riverwalk extension. Just down the street is Roosevelt Park and a mom-and-pop ice cream shop.
We moved in August as two girls. Later that month, Jeremiah, who we later invited to stay on as our studio manager, and our first resident artist / homeless friend, Matthew, moved in with us, and that's pretty much where the adventure begins. Our first goal was to build rooms. Lucky for us, we had a good friend, Brian Pope, who knew how to do that sort of thing. He would bring over tools and give us construction 101, and we'd all get to work.
We were constantly having visitors from Austin, San Marcos, and Dallas to help with the construction on the weekends.
And at the time we were constructing, I had just gotten a teaching position.
And I had just gotten my first full-time design job at Giles Design.
Jeremiah was working at the McNay, and Matthew was working at Sam. So we were all working super full-time, and we'd get home after a super long day of work and start doing construction. It was beautiful.
And we all four had completely different sleeping schedules and all lived in an 8-foot by 8-foot room. The boys bunked up and Gabby and I split a mattress on the floor. And one weekend, our guests included 8 people in that one room.
And it was pretty intense and crazy. A little bit more about why we started the program. We wanted a place for artists who had recently finished undergrad, much like ourselves, to have a place to continue developing and growing. We realized what a cruel transition it can be from having every resource at your fingertips. Supportive mentors, people to bounce ideas off of, a community conducive to artistic growth. For that to be suddenly gone can be really discouraging, especially while you're waiting on graduate school or another opportunity to arise. So we wanted to share our space as kind of a halfway house with a due date to complete a project in hopes that will strengthen a portfolio or allow an artist to take a crazy risk and not have to be overwhelmed with the cost of living or the pressure to sell their work. And this is our vinyl, our mission statement. It was a really big day for us at Transit to see that on the wall every morning when we wake up and drink coffee.
Along with bedrooms, we designed and built, with the help of Jeremiah, huge rolling gallery walls that fold at different angles. We wanted the gallery space to be able to change according to the desires of the artists and how they wanted their work presented. That's Jerry's job, to make the artist's visions come true.
So far, so good. Transit has graduated its first resident artist, Matthew Van Pellen. His show was a complete success. Since his exhibition at Transit, he's been part of a group show at the David Shelton Gallery and will be showing as a part of the McNay's San Antonio, Texas draws in March. The program did exactly what he had hoped. It encouraged him to keep making art, and his hard work really paid off. It propelled him into his next step as an artist. Libby does all of our design and has developed Transit's identity.
The structure of the warehouse is very industrial, and the train tracks 20 feet from the building surely contribute to that. We are trying to keep that aesthetic rolling in our design. We do as much production as possible in-house. For example, the flyers for Matt's show were digitally printed on one side and we screen printed on the other.
They were incredible. Little did we know that all his work would be purchased after showing at Transit, because we have no intention of selling the artist's work. Just like Libby and I started Transit with the hopes of having full ownership over a vision and its successes and failures, we want our artists to do the same. For many of them, this is their first solo exhibition, and the space is a blank slate for them to make every decision, from what they'll be creating while they're there to how it's installed, to where it's installed, etc. It's a giant learning lab for everyone involved, which kind of makes it a scary place sometimes.
For Transit's first show, we were overwhelmed with the amount of people that came to show support. Matt's exhibition was a celebration of what he and Transit achieved during his stay with us. It was the first time we saw the space jam-packed with people, and it was incredibly gratifying.
Since that first exhibition, we've had a print and music fundraiser, which was a lot of fun. We had drinks and artwork donated from friends, all of the money going towards our programming. A few bands played, and it exposed a completely new demographic to Transit. As stated earlier, we don't want the pressure to sell work to be on our artists, because we're hoping they will take this opportunity to attempt something new and experiment with their process. So we rely from the community through donations to make the residency program feasible, which is why we had a fundraiser.
We're going to have many more.
We recently hosted a colloquium as well, organized by Jason J. Stevens and Leslie Raymond. It was a wonderful event. It was really great to see people in the space sharing with one another. It's a space all about collaboration. Everything from how the walls were built, to the ideas being shared, and the work being produced, even the meals we eat. We do it all together.
And we're about to kick off our first round of residencies, and we're hoping 5 for this year in May, starting in May.
And we're really excited.
Great.
So each artist will come and they'll live with us for 1 month, free room and board, and are given a small allowance to help them finance their projects. At the end of their residency, they'll have a solo exhibition showing off what they've developed during their stay, and